The year is 218 AD. Rome, a city of marble and might, stands at the zenith of its power. Sunlight glints off the white marble of the Colosseum. Chariots thunder across the Circus Maximus, raising dust and the roar of the crowd. Within the Palatine Hill overlooking this vibrant tapestry of life, a feast is about to begin. This is no ordinary gathering. The young emperor Marcus Aurelius Antoninus Augustus, known as Elagabalus, is hosting. The air buzzes with anticipation. Elagabalus, a mere boy of 14, is already infamous for his excesses and eccentricities. He is a puzzle to his people, a ruler both revered and feared. His opulent banquets are legendary, whispered about in hushed tones throughout the empire. Tonight's feast, however, promises to surpass them all. It is a spectacle designed to showcase not only the emperor's wealth, but also his absolute power. And within this display of extravagance lies a hidden agenda. A cruel game orchestrated by a mind as sharp as it is unstable. Elagabalus, a priest-king from Syria, ascended to the throne at a tender age. His claim to the purple was through his mother, Julia Soaemias, a powerful woman of the Severan dynasty. Thrust into the spotlight of Roman politics, the young emperor quickly gained a reputation for his unconventional behavior. He embraced his Syrian heritage, promoting the worship of the sun god Elagabal, a deity largely unknown in Rome. This disregard for Roman tradition, coupled with his flamboyant lifestyle, unsettled the traditional elite. Stories of the emperor's excesses circulated through the city's streets and taverns. His lavish banquets, his obsession with exotic animals, his alleged penchant for cruelty, all these added to the mystique surrounding the young emperor. Some dismissed him as a spoiled child, a puppet in the hands of his ambitious mother. Others saw something more sinister, a dangerous instability lurking beneath the surface of his charm. Tonight, as the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the city, both admirers and detractors alike prepare to witness the emperor's latest extravagance. The banquet hall is a sight to behold. Torches blaze, casting a warm glow on the frescoed walls. Garlands of fragrant flowers adorn the marble columns. Ivory couches, piled high with silken cushions, await the emperor's guests. The air is thick with the scent of exotic spices and roasting meat. Hundreds of guests, the elite of Roman society, fill the hall. Senators in their white togas mingle with wealthy merchants and foreign dignitaries. Beautiful women, adorned in jewels and fine silks, cast coy glances across the room. The murmur of conversation, punctuated by bursts of laughter, creates a deafening din. On a raised dais overlooking the assembled throng sits Elagabalus. He reclines on a golden couch, his youthful face framed by a crown of laurel leaves. Beside him sits his grandmother, Julia Maesa, her sharp eyes missing nothing. The feast begins with a flourish. Slaves bearing silver platters laden with delicacies move gracefully among the guests. Roasted peacocks, their tail feathers spread wide, are a spectacle in themselves. Boars' heads stuffed with dates and figs grace the tables. Exotic fruits, brought from the far corners of the empire, tempt the palate. Wine flows freely, poured from amphorae into golden goblets. As the banquet progresses, the noise level rises. Guests, emboldened by wine and good company, engage in animated conversation. Jokes are shared, toasts are made, and laughter echoes through the hall. Elagabalus, however, remains strangely subdued. He picks at his food, a small smile playing on his lips. His eyes, dark and unreadable, dart from one guest to another. When the time comes for the emperor's toast, a hush falls over the assembled guests.
A toast to the gods, to fortune, and to the enduring spirit of Rome.
Section 5. Laughter and unease. The guests, caught up in the moment, raise their goblets and drink deeply. Laughter erupts, fueled by the potent wine and the emperor's words. Yet as the night wears on, a strange unease settles over the gathering. The laughter takes on a slightly hysterical edge. Others sway on their couches, their words slurred. The emperor remains unaffected, sipping his wine with cold amusement. He knows something his guests do not. The wine is laced with a potent drug known for its unpredictable effects. Section 6. Whispers of poison. Whispers like snakes in the garden begin to slither through the hall. At first they are barely audible, drowned out by the sounds of revelry, but as the effects of the drugged wine become more pronounced, the whispers grow louder, more insistent. "Poison!" someone hisses. The word hangs in the air, heavy with fear and suspicion. Guests exchange uneasy glances. Fingers point accusingly. The veneer of civility, so carefully maintained throughout the evening, begins to crack. The emperor, however, remains calm amidst the growing chaos. He watches the unfolding drama with a detached amusement, his fingers drumming a silent rhythm on the arm of his couch. He has anticipated this reaction, has orchestrated it with the precision of a master puppeteer. For Elagabalus, this feast is more than just a display of wealth and power. It is a test, a cruel game designed to expose the true nature of his court.
Friends, Romans, do not be alarmed. What you are experiencing is not poison but a jest, a taste of the unexpected. The wine you have consumed is laced with a rare herb, known for its stimulating effects.
As panic threatens to engulf the hall, Elagabalus rises from his couch. He raises his hands, silencing the murmuring crowd. A hush falls over the assembly, a hush born of fear and anticipation. A slow smile spreads across the emperor's face. A wave of relief washes over the guests. They laugh, a little too loudly, a little too eagerly. The emperor has reassured them it was all a joke, a harmless prank. But beneath the surface relief, a seed of doubt remains. The emperor's smile, the glint in his eyes, suggests that this was no mere prank. It was a calculated act, designed to humiliate, to control, to instill fear. And as the night wears on, the true purpose of the emperor's jest becomes horrifyingly clear. The drugged wine, far from being a harmless prank, unleashes chaos upon the banquet. Inhibitions crumble, tempers flare. What began as a night of celebration descends into a bacchanalian free-for-all. Fights break out, insults are hurled. Guests, their faces flushed, their eyes glazed over, engage in behaviors they would never dream of exhibiting in their right minds. The emperor, watching from his dais, seems to delight in the chaos he has unleashed. He encourages the debauchery, urging his guests to indulge their basest desires. But while Elagabalus may have intended this night as a display of his power, it has the opposite effect. The events of the feast, whispered throughout Rome, become a scandal. The emperor's cruelty, his disregard for the dignity of his guests, shocks even his most ardent supporters. The Senate, already wary of the young emperor, sees in this latest outrage an opportunity to act. They begin to plot, quietly, secretly, their whispers masked by the din of the city. The emperor's grip on power, already tenuous, begins to weaken. The feast that was meant to solidify Elagabalus's power instead hastens his downfall. His outrageous behavior, his disregard for Roman tradition, his cruelty and excesses alienate even his closest allies. The Praetorian Guard, once loyal protectors of the emperor, grow restless. The people of Rome, burdened by economic hardship, resent the emperor's lavish lifestyle. Rumors of rebellion like wildfire spread through the city's streets and taverns. Elagabalus, isolated and increasingly paranoid, surrounds himself with sycophants and yes-men. He trusts no one, least of all his own family. His grandmother, Julia Maesa, once his staunchest supporter, recognizes the danger. She sees the writing on the wall. She knows that if Elagabalus does not change his ways, he will be swept aside, another victim of Rome's brutal power struggles. But the young emperor, blinded by his own arrogance, refuses to listen. He dismisses the warnings, convinced of his own invincibility. He fails to see the storm clouds gathering on the horizon, the storm that will soon engulf him and his reign. In the annals of Roman history, the reign of Elagabalus is a brief, tumultuous chapter. His rule, marked by excess and cruelty, ends in bloodshed. In 222 AD, after 4 years on the throne, Elagabalus is murdered by the Praetorian Guard, his body dumped into the Tiber River. His memory is condemned, his name erased from record. Yet, the story of Elagabalus's feast lives on, a cautionary tale about the corrupting influence of power. It serves as a reminder that even in a vast empire like Rome, cruelty and excess carry a hefty price. The feast, meant to display power, becomes a symbol of decadence and decline. It marks a turning point where the excesses of a ruler unravel his reign.